Well, hello, and one more hello. Welcome to the most unusual tarot reading on the internet, or frankly, anywhere else, and that is the Tao Manifesting Tarot. And the reason it is so unusual from every other tarot reading is the fact that I do focus on your ability to manifest, your ability to create pictures inside your own mind. You leaning on your own creativity, not from some electronic device, laptop, desktop, smartphone, AI, none of that. We all have the capacity to be able to generate pictures inside of our own mind. And what that does is set us up, tune us, if you will, to a frequency. And that frequency will bring whatever we desire or pay attention to. Many times we don't desire it because we're taught to do the negative manifesting. I can't have this. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not. And you get that stuff and you go, see, manifesting doesn't work. No, see, it does. So we have to get you to spin around. Done properly, the tarot is your kryptonite. Tunes you into a positive frequency, and that's what I want to do. I want to inspire you. So I've been doing tarot for over 20 years. In that time, I found out it does not predict anything, at least not from my experience, but what it does do is talk about potential. It's the science of potential, your potential. You tune into that frequency in a positive way, and you begin to see that stuff come back. Because that's what life is. We understand life is frequency, life is energy. Where do you fit? We're not taught to be positive. We're not taught to be strong in a positive way. Arrogant, yes. Bitchy, yes. But quietly positive about ourselves, not so much. So over the 20 years, I said, okay, tarot is the science of potential. Great. But for the past 50 years, I have done numerology and astrology, and those are the science of cycles. There is an element of prediction in the sense that you're familiar with the cycles. You dive into the cycles. History repeats? Yes, it does, because the cycles repeat. The same essential big aspects we had back in 1776 when we declared to break away from England. Those same things, it took 500 years, but those same things are here now. It took 250 years. I'm thinking of Pluto, Neptune. Uranus, Pluto, 250 years. But that's coming up next summer. Yeah, July 4th, 2026, 250 years. And we have just in this past year or so passed the point where Pluto and Uranus were exactly where they were the day we signed the Declaration of Independence. Pluto is evolution. Uranus is revolution. Look at what the hell's going on around us. Evolution and revolution. And both are equally important. In fact, they're vital in terms of your independence, your freedom, your ability to be a positive human being. I mean, it really, I can't overstate that at all. We are at the point now where our technology is going to take our humanity away. Now. And they're doing everything they can to take it away. I don't know what they're going to do with it when they get it. I don't think they even know. The point of the matter is that, yes, numerology and astrology kind of lay out the pattern of your life. Every life, the ups and downs, what your personality is going to be like. It's amazing. Tarot doesn't do that. Tarot says, okay, you take this geopolitical situation, 1776, revolution in America. Also revolution, by the way, shortly after that in France. And you take that energy, move it into 2025, 2026. We got the same kind of stuff going on today. So the tarot energy says, okay, in this given situation, how can you best connect with that tarot energy? And that's what the whole reading is about, because tarot energy is your kryptonite, which is why the people who run this world don't want you in touch with your kryptonite. They don't like that because it gives you power. They want the power. They want it all. Remember, they said you will have nothing and be happy, and they mean it. So that kind of sets it up. We set the stage with the numerology and astrology, and then we focus the energy with tarot. That's how it all kind of lines up and gets going. So let's begin, and we're going to start with the astrology, numerology. I call it astrologic. Yesterday I started something that I'm going to be spending a good deal of time talking about because I want you to understand this is serious shit we're going through. Yes, it may be uncomfortable. Yes, it may be unpleasant. But the point of the matter is we are within a year or two, maybe 3, of having all of our humanity taken away, replaced by machines. So I decided what I would do is take a look at the conquest of America. This has been a process that's gone on since 1600, 1650, if you take a look at the cycles. And we'll talk about little aspects of those as we put this idea of the conquest of America, which means, by the way, the conquest of the world. We'll put it into play for you. So yesterday we were talking about, and I will go back to this at another point, where the way bankers thought in the Middle Ages about banking changed significantly in terms of verbiage around 1700. Adam Smith took this usury, this fascist attack on individuals in debt, and he changed the name. He said, yeah, this is something much, much, much better. And so he was the guy who, in effect, opened the door to a new way of thinking, and that was the idea of capitalism. The same principle that they used back in ancient Greece, ancient Rome, to destroy those empires, by the way, and we may talk about it. But it was the same thing that they used through the Middle Ages. They just didn't do it on a big scale. They changed that in 1700. Adam Smith opened the door, calling it capitalism. Everybody went, oh, this is great. I can make all the money I want. That's the problem. But again, that's just a facelift. It was the same old game, same old stuff, and you get the same old results. You take a look at the world and see how the average person is left out. So in the conquest of America, we kind of set the stage for the conquest before 1700, before Adam Smith. About 1600, 1650, just as the Industrial Revolution was beginning. That is to say, we used machines to help make humans more productive. They were basic, they weren't fancy, they weren't technological or computer or anything like that. Very basic, but they could get more work out of us. And while they were in that position, they were happy with human beings. Yeah, they were a necessary nuisance, but they gave them more wealth. So that started, like I said, around 1600, 1650. We got into it, and it really impacted the relationship that we have with the world here in the United States. Why? Well, because around that same time, the Rothschilds, along with a couple of other rich families in Europe, said, hey, we will bail out the King of England, who was broke and he wanted another war. But in exchange for giving you money, we want to create something called the Bank of England. Royal people have no control. It is not a public bank. It's a private bank. It's our bank, but that's what we want, the Bank of England. Sounds so official. Well, the king, being a wimp, said sure. Well, that connection really solidified capitalism, fascism in Britain. And so when we had the colonists from England primarily come over to the colonies, there was that connection made. And that's why we still have that relationship with Britain today, because of the Jewish bankers. They got the Bank of England. They wanted to come here to the United States and create the Bank of the United States. We'll talk about that down the road. Did not succeed at first. But when it did, that's when the conquest of America became official. So there is a break. They changed the face of banking from what it was in the Middle Ages to the modern ages with Adam Smith calling it capitalism. Doesn't that sound impressive? What it really was fascism. And we're going to talk about how it has drained all value, not just from North America and South America, but from the human beings living in those places. We'll take care of that as we're up. But this is the stage. Saturn square Uranus, Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus in the 1700s. That set the stage for the conquest of America, which means the conquest of the world. Now, let's move on from here. Let's go to the meme for the day. And this is somebody who is definitely part of the capitalist system in the fascist sense for sure. It's Bill Gates. The meme for today says, how does one man manage to block the sun, cover your produce with a fruit film that's poisonous, bioengineer mosquitoes, insert fake meat into the food supply, openly advocate for population control, and yet he's not considered a global threat? How does that happen? This stage is just part of the conquest of America, conquest of humanity. Remember, when we talk about anything going on with America, it impacts the rest of the world. That's the way it was designed. That's the way it was planned. Middle European bankers, Jewish bankers from primarily Germany, got this bank in England set up, the Bank of England. When they came here, the colonies, they tried to do the same thing. And it took them over 100 years, but they got it. We will continue that story as we move on. The missing link for today is 3 little parts and pieces. One from Albert Einstein. I'm not sure with which weapons the Third World War will be fought, but in the Fourth World War, they're going to fight with sticks and stones. Whew. Lao Tzu, a very famous Chinese philosopher, said, in chaos, there is fertility and destruction. There is creation. So chaos creates fertility, destruction creates creation, and that's where we're at right now. This can be good or bad. It depends on us which way we're going to go. And just to kind of give you sort of a negative little spin, I just tossed this in. HARP. That's a governmental program that's been operating for 50, 60 years. You know, they can make earthquakes and tsunamis with frequency. That's what's helping to change the weather. That's what's helping to change the climate. It's not natural climate change. It's our technology. Remember, Albert Einstein said, I don't know what you're going to be fighting the Third World War with, but the Fourth World War, sticks and stones. Not far from the truth. Let's get to the tarot now. First card, Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands talks about being challenged and overwhelmed. Those wands are responsibilities, their duties, expectations. The 10 says, I have had enough. I've played the game just the way you wanted me to play the game. I realize I'm a pawn, maybe less than a pawn. I am tired of playing your game. I am looking for my creativity, my integrity, my independence, my spirituality. I am done with you. Second card, Page of Pentacles. Through this process, which is a very painful and disorienting process, we develop a new sense of values. That's what pentacles are, values. They're not just big cars, more houses, more clothes, no. That's capitalism, fascism. That's not a value system. That's their value system. Our value system should be love, peace, friendship, joy, gratitude, happiness, good health. And yet we spend very little time and effort on those things. And in fact, we're actually being pulled away from those things. Page of Pentacles says, you know what? Now that I quit playing the game with the Ten of Wands, I want my own set of values. I don't give a damn what you're telling me. I don't give a damn what you're telling me is important. I want what's best for me as a human being. And the final card is the Nine of Cups. You see behind him cups. Cups are an emotional attachment. They are fulfillment. They're satisfaction. But Nine of Cups says, I'm not quite there. I can see it. I can feel it. I can imagine it. I know what I'm going for. And it's not things. It's the quality of my life as a human being, as a spiritual human being. Those are the things. I see them, but I'm not there yet. But I have the faith. That's how we flip the script. That's how we turn things around. That's how we take our lives and our world back again. That's the challenge right now. That's it for the reading today. Thank you very much for stopping by. You always make my life, my day extra special good. Thank you so much. Also, help out, please, with like and subscribe. Please, I can't emphasize that enough. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. There are things going on behind the scenes in the internet where they are taking out people like me who are trying to let you see something. They don't want that. You can help. You're my kryptonite. Like and subscribe. So between now and the next time we do the Tao manifesting thing together, as always, peace and blessings.